Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mama Knows Best, mostly. We are, what, episode 7?
Episode 7.
We're moving and grooving, but
Crazy.
we are just so excited every single day. Like, Becca and I both wake up and we're like, okay, when can we record today?
Yes.
Because it's really just so, it's truly my therapy session for the
Yeah, that's what I
day.
was going to say. It feels like therapy.
So today will definitely be probably a bit of a therapy session because we're just going to talk about relationships with your partner. But I know there's so many things that go into this, like as far as like even just thinking about myself and like people that I know who I have spoken to in regards to this topic. Like there's so many shifts that go on from pregnancy to then having your child to then like the first year for me of parenting and maintaining a healthy relationship with your partner has been like we have peaks and valleys to say the least.
You have to actively think about it and focus on it,
Yeah,
for
so do you
sure.
want to go ahead and kind of like talk about, well, so I guess you and Zach weren't planning on like getting pregnant and having a baby. So like that really
Right.
flipped your world upside down. And
Yeah.
like how did that affect your guys' relationship?
I mean, like when I told him I was pregnant, he was like, "Okay, like that's great."
Right.
He wanted a baby, like he would give subtle like jabs like that he was ready, but he never came straight out and said like I'm ready. By the way, if you are watching, I am doing my nails. This is nap time and we multitask. That's what moms do. Um so he was like excited, he was like, "Okay, great. Like whatever." But he knew I was obviously struggling with that. And so it was kind of hard because I wasn't fun anymore at that point. Like the first few weeks, I was like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to see people. I don't want to go to family dinner. Like I just didn't want to do anything. And so like that was hard. And also, Zach and I would go out all the time. So we would go drinking and I would, hang out with family. It was drinking. And so now I'm like not fun because not that he said that, but I thought that I'm not fun
Right.
anymore. I can't participate in the fun activities. Like I have to just be like cranky. And that's what I
Right.
felt. But he was super supportive, super, super supportive. So in the whole beginning of my pregnancy, and if I didn't want to do something, he was like, then we won't do it. Like it was just as simple as that. And I really appreciate that because I did not want to do anything.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of not wanting to do anything, did you guys have sex when you were pregnant?
Yes. In the beginning, yes, because that was normal.
Right.
But towards the end, I was just like dying. And then I was on bed rest, and they were like, no, like, absolutely no, do not do that. So we didn't. And then at the end of my pregnancy, when I was so done, I was like, they say that sex helps. So we got to do it. 36-week
Yeah.
pregnant belly. Like no, it wasn't great. Like it
Yeah.
was really hard and really uncomfortable, but it was what I thought would help induce my pregnancy, and it
Yeah.
did.
I know. I think Justin and I honestly had sex like once in my third trimester or twice, like that I can like actively remember. And like while it like still felt fine
Right.
mentally, I never even shared this with him, but like while we were in the act of, all I could think about was like if Jules was moving around in there, and I was like my brain like couldn't focus on like
Yeah.
the intimacy
Right.
because like I don't know. There was like
Right.
a
Like the
complete
baby kicks,
disconnect.
and you're like, wait,
Right.
you're like,
Right.
this
Like
feels
I felt
wrong.
her moving
Right.
as it was happening and I'm
Like
like,
this feels so bad.
it feels so wrong."
So wrong. Absolutely. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just uncomfortable. And like another whole thing with that is I didn't feel like
Sexy.
sexy. Right. I felt
Right.
like this sucks. I feel like a whale. Like, I just didn't feel like someone who
It's like
should
you
be
want to go
having.
switch positions, roll over on your belly, and you're like, hold
I'm like, wait,
on.
can you pull me up? I can't. No, literally, like I just didn't feel like sexy at all, and that like really messed with
Yeah.
anything. And honestly, postpartum, I've been so mom like, like in that mom brain that I still don't feel well, I mean, I'm starting to
So
now, but
I'm
like I
really
didn't.
struggling with that.
Yeah, I don't feel like sexy anymore and like I used to. Like, you know what I mean? I,
It's
I
like,
just don't feel like that.
and I know you guys have had things to go to. We've gone to like birthday party together. Like
Yeah.
it's been really difficult for me, and this is off topic, but we'll get back to it. But like even like getting dressed and like finding something that I just feel good in, feel confident in. Like anytime I've had to go somewhere, I've gone to TJ Maxx or Marshalls to like hopefully find something to wear. And like I can't even find something that I feel good about. Like it's really sad.
It is really sad, but I honestly agree with that because it's like the stuff I the stuff I wore before pregnancy, luckily I still fit into, but it's not the same body.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
also don't, I feel like a fraud because I'm like, why am I wearing this?
Right. Like I don't think I own a full length shirt. Like
That's exactly
everything
what
is
I was about to
cropped.
say. Like everything, especially when it comes to summer, like this summer, all I have is crop tops.
Right. And not like they're scandalous or like I wouldn't even I think if I wore it I still would look totally fine. Like all my pants are high waisted too. It's not like the
Right,
belly is out, but it just feels like I am not like the mother version of Carly. I don't know. It's like I
right.
have to be a little more conservative maybe.
That's what I feel like. Like, I mean, there's people that will go back and forth with this, I'm sure, but it's like you want to still feel like yourself, but at the same time, you're a mom, so you don't want to just be walking around like a hoochie. Like I used to literally walk around like,
Right.
and it was acceptable.
Right.
But is it acceptable now? Like, I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know. Like, I even think I bartend in the summers usually. And this summer, number one, I don't think I can do it. I did it last summer, and Jules actually, like, came. Justin would bring her to the bar. And, like, it was so much fun because it was, like, a family restaurant. So I would, like, take her with me, and I'd be like, who wants a beer from Jules?
Aww.
And, like, it was playful. But I, like, the short shorts, I'm not joking you, like, my cheeks were always out. And don't get me wrong, my parents would come visit me at work, but, like, I was at a Jimmy Buffett vibe bar. Like,
Right,
please, there's no AC. It's hot. I'm pouring drinks. Like, I'm working on tips. I
right.
don't think I can bring myself to do that this summer. I don't.
I get that. And I
But, like, then
feel
again, I'm
like,
like, but I'm still hot. I'm allowed to be like this. Like,
yes. And like, you're going to look back at this 10 years from now and be like, look how young and hot I was. Why did I not wear those crop
right.
tops? Why didn't I feel comfortable in those crop tops?
Yeah.
And like, that makes sense, but it's still like when people say like you have to get your pink back after postpartum,
Yes.
I feel like that's like so much deeper than they make it seem. Like you have to feel
Yeah.
good. Like if I don't feel like good about myself, I don't want to be intimate.
Right. So
And that
the
has like
mood
and that
is
has nothing to do with Zach, but like it
right.
could still affect that relationship, you know?
Yeah. So I think, so for me, I did at times feel like beautiful, like sexy pregnant, I guess you can say. Like I would look
Yeah.
in the mirror and like admire myself and my body.
Yeah.
Also because, and I'm sure you can relate, like just the fact that it was growing a human, like was so miraculous.
Right.
Then also weird. And then also I was gaining weight, but then also I still looked thin. So like it was just
Right.
constant like emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
But I was not like I lost my sex drive. There was zero, like negative
Yeah.
while I was pregnant. And I was like, okay, like once we have the baby, like I'll get back to it. And
Right.
like I still don't think I've gotten that back.
No.
And maybe for us, like postpartum, I mean, Justin and I couldn't physically because of his accident for
Right.
quite a bit, even once I was cleared. And like, I was so okay with that. And
Yeah.
still, I'm like, we will, but like, if we didn't, I'm not losing sleep over it.
Right. And that's part of it too, is like, after you do everything all day and you work all day and the baby is finally down for the night, it's like all I want to do is sit in silence, have nobody be crawling all over me,
Right.
and
And you
just
have a
watch
cat, I
TV.
have a dog. Like they're
Right.
needy.
I have 3 cats. They're up my
Right.
ass. Like it's just, I sometimes just want to do nothing, and that I feel guilty
Yeah.
for that. And
Right.
he never complains, never.
Yeah.
But I feel guilty
Yeah,
because
there's just that like role of being a wife, I guess, and a partner and
right.
like giving what they like love languages or Justin's is physical touch, of course.
That's
And
Zach's
like
too.
I'm so cold. Like I'm not a
Right.
cuddler. I
Right.
don't want to hold your hand. Like he wants me to rub his head. Literally in our wedding vows, I promised to give him head scratches every night.
That's what I said.
Stop.
We're not holding up to our end of the bargain.
No, and he holds it against me. He's like, "But you promised." So I will. I'll literally like from afar like just scratch his head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so interesting. And then on like a non-sexual component of it, like I feel like sometimes we're literally just coexisting. Like we're
Yes.
both working, we're both coming home, we're both having dinner, and then like we're literally like taking turns doing things and going to sleep. And like
Yep.
it's like I get caught up in it that like I feel like our conversation is so minimal and so meaningless sometimes, and then I get upset because I'm like, are we okay? And like no, we're fine. We're just new parents, a
Still trying
married
to
couple,
figure
new
it out.
parents, like yeah. So it's been interesting to and like I don't know about you guys, but we don't want to go out without Jules. Like we have so many people offering to be like, go take date night, go do this, go do that. And we're like,
Yeah.
we don't want to,
Yeah. It's
but
not fun.
it's not. But like, we just
Not
went out for
fun.
my birthday
Yeah, that was different, of course.
and like, we did have so much fun. Like, it was just him and I, like, walking around. We went to Dave and Buster's and
Oh
like,
my gosh, I
that was
love that place.
amazing. But
It's
I
like
don't know,
old
it's just such,
times.
right. You almost forget for a second that like your child is at
Yes.
home sleeping.
Yep.
Which actually leads me to ask, have you guys left Vienna overnight yet?
Yeah, we have. So I think I think I was 6 weeks postpartum.
Oh my goodness.
And I had said I did not want to do any sleepovers with her until she could talk. That was like my initial thing. But I was like, postpartum, I was just like ready to like be myself again. I felt I felt sexy during those first few weeks because I had just lost 40 pounds. Like,
Right.
why? And I was feeling so good. I hated being pregnant. I felt like myself. And so I was like ready to party, ready to go, like whatever. So Zach convinced me to let her sleep at his parents' house. And I cried when we left. And but he took me to the mall. He got me some new clothes, and we just had like a
Cute.
wonderful date day. And then we went out to dinner. And at 6 o'clock the next morning, I woke him up and said, "Let's go get her." Because I was like, it's time to go. It was
Yeah.
hard. It was definitely hard. I was checking every 5 seconds. How's everything going? Can you send me pics? Like it wasn't easy. And
Yeah.
she was 6 weeks old. Like it was hard.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine.
What about you? Did you leave for overnight yet?
Yeah, so well, before even overnight, we had my godfather, my uncle passed 2 weeks after having Jules.
Oh,
And I had to be away for like the full day for like the services and everything like that, and that literally ripped my soul out of my body. Like
oh yeah, that's
on top
hard.
of it already being a hard day, like having to leave her at 2 weeks old
That's
was
so early.
it right. And it was like just the way the circumstances worked that like I had to. I
Right.
wouldn't have missed obviously, but I also didn't feel comfortable bringing her because she was two
Was
weeks
so
out of the
new.
womb.
Right.
So that was really difficult, but I feel like that almost like showed me from like the very start that like I came home and like she was fine. That
Right.
like it's okay.
Yeah,
So
right.
the only time we've left her overnight other than that was we had a wedding. um, it was 2 nights, and my parents actually stayed at our house. That way she was,
Mm,
like, in her
I like that
environment,
idea. I like that.
um, and I really was fine. Like, I feel like maybe because I knew she was in good hands, like, she was at our house, I could watch her on the camera if I needed to. My
See, I
mom
like
is
that one. I
amazing.
like that a
Right.
lot.
So that definitely made it easier, and we were busy. Um,
Yeah.
I think what will be hard is I actually have 2 bachelorette trips coming up,
Yeah.
and, like, leaving her for an extended period, like, more than 2 nights
Yeah.
will be difficult, but,
That will be hard, but I'm sure you're going to also be busy and be distracted.
yeah, and, like, I'll be with my girls, and, like, we'll have
Right.
fun, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um,
We did go to a wedding in one of the Carolinas when she was like 10 weeks old, and she stayed at my mom's house for 2 nights.
okay.
And I felt fine.
Yeah.
I just
I
think
don't know, I
I think
think
2 weeks
that's
was, or 6 weeks, or whatever, was just a little early for me at that
yeah.
point. Yeah,
Yeah. Thankfully, I mean, I both girls took a bottle, so that helps the situation.
absolutely.
Um, because I know like there's people who don't have that option, and like that, if anything, would have caused me more stress because like what
Is
are
she
you gonna do?
eating? Right,
Right.
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 And then you have
So
to go there with him. Like, and that's the thing too, is like I am thankful for that because now she's not like attached to me at every second. Like I have that little bit of like, hey, I'm by myself, I'm still me,
yeah.
instead of like being like a kangaroo with a baby in a pouch constantly. Like
Yeah.
she's sufficient at some point.
No, exactly. I agree with that. And I'm happy that it worked out that way for both of us then if that's what we wanted.
Right.
Um Do you and Zach ever bump heads on like parenting styles or like how to handle a certain situation or,
Yeah.
I mean, anything related
Yeah,
to parenting?
definitely. Yes. Yes.
I'm
So I
cracking up that
mean,
you're closing the door.
I know the baby's sleeping. I don't want to get loud. But
Oh, okay. I thought because you didn't want him to hear what you were saying.
well, partially. He can still hear
Okay.
me. He can still hear me. But yeah, no, we had the same ideas going into pregnancy. I think maybe he
Yeah.
was just agreeing with me because I was angry and pregnant when I made like
Yeah.
my rule list. But yeah, some of our rules I really wanted to if I looked back at my list that I made when I was angry and pregnant, I stand by that. I love that list and I think it's great. But we didn't really keep on all of those things.
Okay.
So,
What are some like top ones that,
yeah, so some of the top ones would be obviously sleepovers. Um, Obviously, we've kind of touched on this before. It's like, as the mom, my mom is my number one trusted person. And
mm-hmm,
there's nothing wrong with that. It's just biological. So I would say she's going to sleep at my mom's. And then it was like, well, she slept at your mom's, so now she has to sleep at my mom's. It was kind of like a give and take. And I couldn't tell you
didn't want to
why.
give?
Yeah, like I couldn't tell you why. Like there was no real reason, but it was just like, no, I don't want to do that. But she does do that now. And like she has a great time at both places. But it's just like I don't know. It was hard to explain without sounding rude because I have nothing against that. But it's just like I didn't
I
want it
get
to
that.
be like it's not like oh well you had her for this long now I have to have her, like I'm not playing that game.
Right.
So like
Right.
that part was bothering me. The other thing is I didn't want anyone drinking around her. Like
Okay.
alcohol, no alcohol around her whatsoever. My family doesn't drink. Like my sister doesn't drink. Like maybe she'll have a glass of wine at a dinner. My mom doesn't drink, and my dad has been sober for 2 years as of like
Okay.
last week. So like they don't drink, and like
Congrats, Dad.
obviously, right? Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And obviously, I was a big drinker, like a big drinker. I mean, just having my dad be sober for 2 years just goes to show you, like, I got it from somewhere. For someone who's 5'2.5", I could put it away. So getting pregnant,
You're
that was,
over here talking about drinking less, and I'm like, okay, so we need a night to get drunk together then.
and that's the problem. I that's part of my problem. So I'm like, not obviously not drinking during pregnancy. It was tough. I was like, well, I can have a glass of wine. And my mom would be like, no, you cannot have a glass of wine. Like blah 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 blah.
I did.
So of course I had a glass
Sorry,
of
guys,
wine.
if you don't agree with that,
No, I
but
had a glass of wine once. It was a shot glass of wine because that was all I was allowed to have. But I forgot where I was going with this. But basically,
we were talking about the rule of nobody drinking and how
yes,
your
thank you.
family doesn't really drink.
Thank you. So yes, my
Sure.
family doesn't drink, so it's easy when we're over there that there's no drinking.
Yeah.
But then maybe at his parents' house there is drinking. But it's like then it became, if I said something to Zach, it would become, well, they only had one drink. Okay. Oh, they only had two drinks. Okay. So it became a little frustrating to me because I really wanted to stick with no. Like I don't need her being around anyone who's going to make that seem normal because I don't want her getting drunk at 16 years old at some sweet 16. You know what I mean? Or like drinking a Four Loco where I used to drink Four Locos. Like I'm trying to avoid that
Yeah, no, I
cuz
understand. And I literally hear you. I'm laughing just because, like, we used to tape, like, water bottles into, like, our thong under our
mhm.
dress to get it into a Sweet 16.
Mhm.
Like, as crazy as that sounds, if you're listening to this and you've done it, you understand it's possible.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I also, like, I get that you don't want to normalize the fact that, like, being drunk is like glorifying something.
Right. I don't want her to be looking up to her aunts, her uncles, her grandparents be like and them showing that it's okay to be drunk.
Right.
And that was the
Or a
thing
glass
about
in the
drunk.
hand all the time.
Right. A glass in the hand all the time. Exactly. I mean, obviously I grew up, my parents didn't drink. My dad was a drinker, but not crazy. But he would drink. And I like that's obviously a genetic thing. I inherited that from him. I would drink all the time. All the time. And even still, like I don't drink anymore. However, if I'm at a party or if I'm somewhere other than home and someone literally, I will not order myself a drink. Someone comes over to me and says, do you want this drink? I say yes every time. Every time, no matter how
Wait,
many
you're
they keep
telling me
bringing.
literally how to take advantage of you then.
Right. No, literally. Like I will never buy my own alcohol, go up to the bar, buy
Wait,
like
that's
ask for a
crazy.
drink.
So since you've been pregnant, like at home, you guys won't have like a glass of wine?
Nope.
Wow.
Zach drinks. I do not.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible, Becca.
Thank you. It's incredible until you are out with me and I drink like a fish and you're like, I thought you weren't drinking. I don't know.
I'll support your happiness and whatever that means is what I'll do.
It's just crazy. So
Yeah.
that's like a big thing because Zach he enjoys drinking. Obviously,
Do you want
that's,
to be? I mean, this is so off topic, but do you want to be sober? Like completely?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I really enjoy not drinking
Okay.
around Vienna at all.
Sure. I
So
get that.
like I think I was like a week, maybe a few days postpartum. My best friend in the whole world brought me, she found this, ordered it, I don't know, my absolute drink of choice, Jack and Coke, but it was pre-canned. And she brought that to me. Literally, I think I was like 3 days postpartum. And when I was about a week postpartum, Zach opened one for me and gave it to me. And I had one. And I said, I actually don't want this. And I just didn't want it. And so we finished, like Zach finished what was in the house. And that was it, really. But he will go out occasionally, and there's always beer in the house, but I do not keep alcohol in the house, and I will not drink a beer like on my own. I won't be like, oh look, there's a beer in the house, like perfect, ice cold, let me have it. I'm not
Okay,
gonna
to
go for it.
tie this in then to relationships, do you then, like, if he's drinking beer in the house and it's just you guys on a Friday night, will you get mad or
Yeah,
upset with
I
him?
will. I will.
Okay.
And I shouldn't, but I will. And
Okay.
I get weird actually, which is a very interesting. This is like our biggest issue. So I get weird where he'll be like, I'll help with the baby. And I'll be like, no, you've been drinking. And then he's like, I'm fine. And I'm like, a psycho. No,
And realistically, he probably is 100% fine. Oh no.
no, no. And so I won't,
Oh, Zachy.
I don't want him to hold the baby. And I get like really mothery and weird, which is
Yeah.
not like me. I'm like kind of cold and kind of like normally Vienna, like I gave her a full scone today. And I'm like, good luck. And I walk away.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not worried about her, but when it comes to someone drinking, I'm like, you can't hold her. You can't give her a bath. You are not
Yeah.
quick enough. You're not fast enough. Your reaction time is not there. So I'll just do everything. And I just get mad. And it's
Yeah.
not fair because like as we talk about all of this, it's like, well, no, I don't want to have sex with you, but also you can't drink and also like you know what I mean? It's like that's not fair. But
No.
it's weird. It's weird how my brain chemistry has changed.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, I definitely feel I also was like a pretty big drinker. I'm a bartender for God's sake. So like
Yeah.
I was never not drinking while at work or
Yeah.
just whatever it was. If we had wine on a Tuesday night, like an unopened bottle, like I'm cracking it with dinner. I would make margaritas. Like
And is
I'm
Justin like that too? Like he's
no, he
okay.
doesn't need to drink. He's like the
Okay.
opposite. Um Although, like, he's gotten more into whiskey or bourbon.
Him and Zach, literally, we need to get them two together. Every
Okay,
time you
yeah,
tell me about something, I'm like, yeah.
cool. Does Zach smoke cigars?
No, but he
Okay,
would. But he
okay.
would.
Justin loves cigars. Like, that's definitely like
Oh, he would.
more his wavelength or
Yeah,
whatever.
but he just recently started getting into whiskey too, which is interesting. So,
So, um, yeah, what I was gonna say was like I could not wait to pop Jules out and like throw back the drinks. And
yep.
we went out, someone brought it over, one of our family members, like Sam, the cold snap, the beer. I
Oh, yeah.
love beer. Love beer.
Okay, good.
And I took a sip and I hated it. Don't I'm
Like the
drinking beer now.
taste, you're
Yeah, I
saying.
was just
Okay.
like it did not like taste good at all to me. I was like so uninterested. So then the next night, we tried again with a glass of wine, which love my wine.
Right.
I hated it. I did not want I could not even finish it. I poured it down the drain. And I was like, I don't know what was happening, but I don't know if it was subconscious because I was like, I don't need this because I'm just going to take care of my child and I'm not going to get drunk. And
See,
like,
that was like it, I loved the taste, but it was the mental thing for me that I was like, I can't get past this.
well,
I
so
need
I
to be
think that
available.
my mental was taking over and like allowing my body to make up these ideas that I didn't like the way it tasted, if that makes sense.
Oh, yes, it does make sense. It
Like,
does.
it's not that I just was like drinking it and I felt like I was forcing it down.
Yeah, you weren't like having an enjoyable drink.
Correct.
And that's what you were wanting. And I get that.
Correct. However, I have definitely enjoyed many nights of having an enjoyable drink now,
Same.
but it's not like it used to be.
It's not like it used to be.
And
Absolutely.
even if we're going out, I feel like I always need to be ready in case of an emergency
Mm-hmm.
or like if something happens and I have to, if we get home and the babysitter leaves or one of our moms leaves and
Yep.
like something, like I just, it's a completely different mentality. So, I mean,
You
drinking is
just
not
have to
what it
be
ever was.
on. You have to be alert and responsible all the time.
Right.
And so
Do you ever smoke? Are we allowed to talk about that on here? It's not.
Yeah, it's our own
Okay.
thing. Nobody pays for us. We get to
Yeah,
do it.
that's true.
No, but I used to be a big smoker.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with pregnancy. I just one day went to smoke my regular J like I did every day. And I had a panic attack. And I was like, well, that was weird. What the heck was that? I've never had a panic attack before. So then I waited, the next night I tried it again. Panic attack. I'm like, what the
What?
heck? Third night, I'm like, let me get different weed. Am I allowed to say that word? Anyway. Like, let me get different.
Schweed. Different Schweed.
Yeah, let me get different gardening supplies. So I did, and I did it again, and I had a panic attack. And I'm like, that is so weird. I don't understand. And I'm like freaking myself out now because I'm like, panic attacks are no joke. Like, I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought I had to go to the hospital. Like, it was horrible. And so then I did it two more times, and then I was like, well, I guess I can't do this anymore. So I just never smoked again.
You gave it a real go, though. You tried.
I really did. I just never, it was so crazy because, like, as someone who would smoke every single day for
Yeah.
years, tons, I just had to stop cold turkey.
Yeah, that
Sucks.
is crazy.
So what about you?
I was just like a one hit before bed for like to
Okay.
help with sleep type. I like didn't smoke around anybody. I didn't smoke in public settings, but it was
Okay.
like my alone thing. But I'm still nursing, so I can't. And I
Right.
like think about it because some
Does
nights
it
it's
seem
really hard for
interesting
me
to
to
you?
sleep. Yes and no,
Okay.
because it really does. Like literally would love to take a hit and just lay down in bed, but then also I might need to get up in the matter of 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So, like, I realistically
Right.
just don't think it's going to be something that I do, which is totally fine. But I guess we'll see.
It's just crazy because it's like my whole identity before having a baby was Becca will be there. Becca will
Yeah.
rile up the party. And if, it was like, hey, we're going to do a themed party with margaritas, or like, hey, you want to do this crazy new drink with me? Becca will do it every time.
Yep.
And now I'm just not like that. And I also will say, me and my brother-in-law were the big partiers in the family. Like, we were like the ralliers, and he's not really drinking anymore. So that was really exciting for me to find out because
That is.
that's we used to be the ones. Like, we made Caribou Lou one summer day, and it was wild. So it's like he was always the one to be like, I'll hype him up, he'll hype me up. We would just get each other going and like excited and just make crazy drinks. And now we're both not really drinking.
Well, that's good. That
Yeah.
probably like calms down the entire atmosphere then.
Yeah, he moved out, but yes.
Okay.
It definitely does. I feel like once, like, the whole parenting thing, going back to that, once I tell Zach something that's important to me, he knows to send the message.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, before pregnancy, I wasn't like this at all. I was like,
It's okay.
I'm gonna eat all of the red dye 40. I'm gonna drink everything under the sun. We'll do whatever. And
Yeah.
now I'm just like, no,
Yeah,
not
we were
interested.
also like that. But it's funny. So I'll for Justin and I, something that stands out to me, that has like frustrated me, and I make like my little jabs at him, and like it's serious, but it's also not, is
Right.
like when he's watching Jules, I just hate when he's on his phone. And like he's not like he doesn't even post on social media. He's not somebody who is like I don't know. I don't even know what he's doing. He's probably like watching the stock market or like something so irrelevant. But I am like, why? Your daughter's in front of you. Why aren't you paying attention to her? And like,
Yeah.
he's never neglecting her. He's such a good dad. He's always playing with her. But like, it just bothers me so much. And then I'm probably sitting on my phone too sometimes when I'm with her. So I'm
I
like,
know, but it's a
it,
valid thought because you're looking at it at, like, from this perspective where you're seeing him
right.
look at his phone and the baby looking at him, maybe. Like,
Right. Right. And
yeah.
then we wonder why. So we'll get to the whole screen time conversation a different episode. But like we wonder why she's constantly going to grab a phone. Or I
Yep.
mean, even for us, like, oh, this also bothers me is obviously I'm alone with her all the time. But I feel like sometimes when I leave them too to have like daddy daughter time, he like has to call somebody, like his family member, to FaceTime. And like while it's incredible because like they get to see the baby, I'm like, no, just hang with her, play with her. And like he does. Like I can't emphasize that enough. The playroom is a nightmare because they were in it last night. Like I there's just these little things that I'm like,
I
spend
honestly
time.
feel that. I feel that. So like you're totally valid in that because I'm like here like I he wakes up late for work. And so I'll take the baby at like after I've been up with her for 3 hours and she's like 30 minutes from nap time. I'm like, let me just place her in bed with Zach. Now Zach will wake up. The second Zach opens his eyes, he grabs the baby and FaceTimes his mom. And it's
Yeah.
like, wow, that's nice. Now she's riled up. Now she's excited. And now she's not going to go down for a nap. And you're about to hop on a meeting. So now I'm stuck with her. Like,
Right. And
and
she's seeing like daddy grabbing his phone right when he wakes up.
right. And she literally freaks out about the phone. And I didn't want her to have phones. I don't want to give her the phone. And FaceTime was like a very thin line. I was like, you know what?
No,
Like, one of
there's
my,
an addiction to FaceTime.
I know, I was like, well, I want to FaceTime so that my mom can see, so that my Nana, she's in Florida, she could see, and like we could keep Zach's grandparents in the loop. Like, I want that. But every time we do that, she grabs the phone and then screams that we don't give it to her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need to like limit the phone time. And now Zach downloaded this little app on his phone that she can play. It's like a black screen, and like when she touches the screen, it like makes a firework. And he's like, it's not really screen time. And I'm like
No, it
convulsing. I'm like,
is. Well, so somebody, one of my good friends actually, and I told her, I was like, I appreciate you, but like, no. She sent me the other day that, like, for parents who don't want screen time, and again, I feel like this is a major topic. But it was like make a slideshow of like a video of like photos of like you, your family, your friends, and like play that for them. And I was like, no, like that's the same exact
it's a
concept. Like, I don't want to
screen.
put a phone, and first of all, that's still stimulating. But second of all, like, there's no vice. If we're at a table and you're bored, be bored.
Right.
Like,
Color. Play with the napkins. Make a potion out of this out of the soda. That's what I
right.
did.
Right. Oh my God, that's what I said. I was like, we would literally go in the backyard and get like a bucket with leaves. The leaves were
Yep.
whatever food you
Our
wanted
cooking
it to
show in the
be.
backyard.
Yes. Like, our generation did that, and these kids, there's no one on their bikes, there's no one doing magic shows. Like, all
Nope.
that stuff is gone, and I'm going to bring it back.
And I think our generation, like a lot of us anyway, feel that way. Like
I agree.
we used to run around outside for like hours, getting
Yep.
dirty, going to the neighbor's house, going to this neighbor's house, riding our bikes, scraping our knee. Don't go inside though if you scrape your knee because then your mom's going to want you to stay. So come to my
Right.
house for band-aids. And then when it was dinner time, you'd hear the bell. My mom would ring the
Mm-hmm.
dinner bell and we'd have to go.
No, it's so wild. I really,
But
I,
that would never
I'm
happen
so
these days.
hopeful for that. I am.
Same. It would be
Um,
nice.
yeah.
It's just,
Have
I
you
feel like we
and
could talk
Zach,
so
wait,
much about this.
have you guys had a, I mean, I don't want to say argument, but I don't want to say fight or disagreement, but like,
No,
do
it's
either of
okay.
you
I'm just
guys
going to sit
raise
on
your
the floor.
voices?
Raise our voices? No. But
Wow. That's so beautiful.
I will tell you though. Oh, she's awake. I hear her. Zach and I don't fight.
What?
I know that sounds crazy, but he is very calm and introverted. So if I'm mad about something, he'll just be like, "Okay," and then he'll fix it. Like he doesn't, or he could say, "You're wrong," and then I'm like, "No, I'm not," and I might be, but we don't fight. And I have said to him many a times, we don't raise our voice, especially in front of the baby, but also we don't fight, but we're also not affectionate in front of the baby. It's just not. I'm cold. It's just how it is. So
Yeah.
it's like not the best either.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I honestly am working on controlling my voice
Okay.
because I am such a reactive person, and I feel like there's way more to it, but like I always have felt like in the calmest of situations, like you're coming at me. So I need to like be strong, and I do that through vocalness, whatever. So I really do need to work on that because I don't want Jules to see that. And like there's been many times where like Justin will put me in my place on it, which makes me angrier
Yeah, I was gonna
in
say
the
that makes it
moment.
worse.
But he's not wrong. Like I don't want her to grow up in a household where like me being honestly more insecure and like feeling belittled is causing me to yell, which is creating this problem
Right, 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 right.
because like Justin can communicate so well. I think I'm the issue there. So I definitely want to like nick that in the
Yeah.
butt.
Well, I don't know if this helps you, but my mom, I always looked at her as a very strong woman. Like she's the one who wears the pants in my parents' marriage. Like, sorry, dad, that's just how it is. And she never raised her voice when we were growing up. She does now, but she didn't when we were growing up. What she would do if something was serious is she would get so calm, so scarily calm, and be like, do not speak to me like that. Or she'd be like, cut it out. And she'd grab your arm and squeeze just enough. And she'd talk to us in gritted teeth and say, cut it out. And we would just, no need for yelling. We knew. We knew. And then that's the thing, we never got beat either. Like, but we knew,
Yeah.
I don't know what she's going to do.
Interesting.
And like,
Yeah,
I want to be
maybe.
like that where I don't have to yell. But like, if my mom took my phone away and she put it in the drawer, I knew where it was. I was not going to go get it because that I would never hang up on her, I would never curse at her, and she never had to beat me or yell. And so I'm like, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it. There's no advice
I'm
coming
gonna
from me.
channel Becca's mom then.
We're gonna get her to speak on this. We're gonna get her as a guest.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
And
She works with kids
my mom
now.
doesn't raise her voice. Like my mom doesn't yell either, so I don't really know. I think it's honestly like there's some there's some issues. So,
Your whole life changes, and it takes 2 years to get back to normalcy after having a baby.
yeah.
So I blame everything
And
on that.
hormones.
I'm just not back to me yet.
Yeah.
It's hormones. That's what I keep saying about everything.
Yeah. Which I feel
It's
like
tough.
the men never understand. Like they
No.
just can't understand that it really, really is hormones.
Right. It's not like I'm trying to act this way. It's like there's something inside of me that's telling me this is the normal way to act. And like I don't recognize that it's not. Like it's just like I've been reprogrammed and this is how I'm acting. So you can't tell
Yeah.
me it's hormones because I'm upset when I watch a commercial about a dog. Like I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
That's my normal now. That's my normal.
That's incredible. I also find that for me, and this might actually, so this was where I was actually going to go when you were talking about Zach and drinking and like not letting him hold the baby,
Mm,
um, is like there's this control that I feel because like I'm the mother.
yeah,
And while Justin is the father, Zach is the father, I'm like, no, but I'm her mom. And like,
right.
it's not rational, but also it is at the same time. Like
It
I
is.
literally grew her for 9 months and that's my baby. I will literally flee to wherever I need to go with just her to make sure she's okay in this world.
Yep.
Like but I feel like sometimes I say it in like a manipulative way.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
But like I mean, we are the moms.
We're not wrong, but also, and anyone who's listening to this and is maybe understanding of legal, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that in a court of law, if nobody's a drug addict or anything, the mother automatically gets 51% custody and the dad is considered 49%.
Interesting.
Just
So there you
automatically.
go.
Like, I'm sorry. First of all, it should be like 100 like percent
They
and zero.
need their moms.
But
They need
it's
us.
I just feel bad because I don't want him to feel like this isn't also your responsibility. But if I have to tell you how to pack the diaper bag, or if I have to remind you to put on diaper balm, like then I am the mom.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it's
It's
more so
like
like the food, the lunch, the meals,
yeah.
this that, but yeah.
But no, but that also like
Yeah.
it's
That's
like
like
did you
things
feed
that
her
you need
lunch?
to get by every day for
It's
life.
like, what do I feed her for lunch? Why are you asking me? You're the dad. Like, figure it out.
Uh-huh.
But in reality, I feel like a lot of moms will feel this way. It's like and I don't want to say default parent because I think they use that term for like what the baby chooses. Like, I don't know, but I feel like I'm the appointment parent. I know her age, I know her weight, I know her shoe size, her clothing size. Like, I do her meals, I know what she's supposed to eat. Like, so it's
I
like
mean, you know everything, Becca.
yes, I know everything actually. So case closed. But it's hard, right? As a mom, it's like you want the relationship to feel equal too. Like we're both the parents, but I
Yeah,
still
I don't
feel
I
like this.
mean, if anyone's listening and like you feel differently, please tell me, but I it probably just is the biological component of having been connected to this human now earth side that creates this I
Right.
not idea but reality in our head. um and it's just how it is. Like I actually would fight that through and through to be like, no, like it's me.
I know. I just feel like there is so much we could talk about relationships with your spouse. Like just so much. But I mean, Zach's a great guy. Like he really is. He's a great dad. I mean, just now we're recording this podcast. She was down for her nap. She woke up. He stopped working and went and got her instead of interrupting me. Like he
Right.
knows that it's important for me to have my time, which is
Justin as
so
well.
critical. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that's so important. And like, of course, we forget about all of the good things when we're talking about the things that we struggle with.
Oh my
But
god, yeah, we love them.
we love them. I could not have chosen a better partner for myself, parent
No.
for Vienna, like truly. And like, I don't think that there's anybody in the whole world that would be a father that is 100% of what would make a hormonal postpartum woman happy. Never. Doesn't exist.
That is exactly that's it.
Doesn't
That's
exist.
it.
I know it doesn't, but I got a pretty good deal. I mean,
Yeah.
when we came home from the hospital, I know I've said this to you before, but we were home with the baby. I would go to bed at like 10 o'clock, whatever the heck time I wanted to go to bed, and I would wake up at like 10 o'clock the next morning. 4 weeks, all 4 weeks, I slept through the night. I never had to get up once.
Yeah,
Zach
that's
took care of everything.
incredible.
I
Yeah.
mean, he was obviously on paternity, like he had no work, but he let me sleep. He knew how important it was for me to recover and heal and like just rest up. Like I wasn't pregnant anymore. And like he just wanted to let me relax. And like that itself is the best gift. But he still does things like that all the time. It's like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
I
was
really
gonna
need a shower.
say,
Yeah, I'm like, I really need a shower. He's like, okay, put her in her playpen. I have a meeting, but I'll like keep an eye. And
even last night I'm thinking like I wanted to go shower, but I was still like downstairs cleaning up, and Justin came downstairs like without having asked, and he's like, we have a hot water heater, so sometimes it takes a little bit for like
yeah.
the showers to get hot, and like he had already ran it, so he was like, the shower's ready for you, like we have a towel warmer, like he already put it in, and
Oh,
it's just like
see?
little things like that, or like he'll be like, why don't you go get a manicure? Why don't you like go food shopping alone? Like I'll watch her, and it's like the there's never for me a moment where I feel like I can't do something because I have to be like, oh, I have to make sure it's okay with Justin. Like if
Oh,
I
yeah,
made
no, me
plans
neither. Thank
or if
God
I
for
wanted
that.
to do something, it'd be like, her dad's got her. Like,
That's the other thing too, is like I can complain. It's like that I have to tell him, like, what to do, what to do. But if I'm like, hey, Zach, I gotta leave, I gotta go, run, do something, I know she's taken care of.
right. No, and we're
Like,
so lucky for that
we really are, because
because
I know a
I mean,
lot
I
of
know it's
women,
not. Yeah.
and especially like being a stay at home mom now, it's like I don't have to be like, Zach, can I buy this? Like, how much can I spend on groceries? Like, luckily, it's not like we have $1 billion. Trust me, we definitely do not. But he makes it work. Like, he's
Right.
just like, whatever. He's never going to give me a problem. Why did you buy this? Why did you
Yeah.
buy this $350 playmat for Vienna that she's going to use for two
Right.
months?
Right.
He never asked. He does not ask, but he'll say, get your hair done. Or
Okay,
like,
so normally we're like on very different wavelengths, but at least like with this,
this,
100% like
agreed.
could not agree more. Justin
Yeah.
is the exact same.
Yeah, and I love that when you said he can, like, he's like, go get a manicure. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll like be like, hey Zach, I think I'm gonna go get my hair done on like this date in the future. It's gonna be like $400. He'll be like, okay, and then just go
Yeah.
back to work. And I'm like, first of all, that's not little money. Like that's
Yeah.
we have to work on that, but it's still like he knows that I need my time as well. And like
Yeah. I
that's
feel
so
like
important.
even when I was and the two girls getting married whose bachelorette trips, if you listen to this, I love you guys and I'm so excited. But when it was like when I was on the website like looking at plane tickets and that, first of all, the plane tickets were really expensive and I feel like I was trying to use that as an excuse to be like I shouldn't go
Yeah,
because I feel so anxious about going. And he was the one who was like, don't worry about the money. Like, you deserve to go. You should go have a good time
right.
with your girls. And like, he was the one who, like, basically, like, hit the like enter button to like commit to the
Right.
flights because
See,
I couldn't do that. And like, that's a lot on him. Like, he's gonna be a working dad without a partner for a few days. Like,
right.
so for financial and for just the component of like being a dad, it was just um really nice. So I guess to wrap this up, and I know like since we do share the same feeling towards this, is your partner is your rock, and there are going to be days where you probably can't stand them. There's going to be a million and one things that they're going to do to piss you off, or just they're going to do things differently. But remember, like, take a step back sometimes and like just take a moment because like as we just went on a rant, we're also ending it with like how much they do for us and how incredible they are. And just the same way that I would say to give yourself grace, you have to give your partner grace because like we are just both trying our best,
Yeah.
and navigating not just motherhood but parenthood while in a relationship. Like for you too, it's just a whirlwind, so be
And I
patient.
feel like also, just to add on that, it's like with mothers, like we are given all these hormones. So we're kind of like pre jumped into this whole motherhood thing. Like they don't get that burst of hormones. They're like learning this slower, I guess, maybe not
Yeah,
as like naturally. Like we were kind of just like given this burst and now we're just like in mom. Like, but
we can't even wear our clothes because we don't identify with them.
right.
Like they
Who
don't
is
have
that
that
girl? I don't know
issue.
who that is. It's true, but we love our husbands. And the last thing I think I'll say is that before you get pregnant, make sure you choose the right partner.
Yeah.
That is critical because you're going to be stuck with them for a very long time.
Yeah, and yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like I could just keep on going,
we
but
could. We could. We're
let's
going to have
just
to do
cut
a part two. We're
it.
going to have to do another one on this.
Yeah, but guys, again, like I would love to hear from you. What are things that maybe you and your partner have had difficulty with or have overcome? And like, I don't know, do you have any thoughts or anything that we said? Because I'm always open to advice.
Yeah,
I know, Beck,
true.
you probably are too. So just
Absolutely.
comment, let us know. But thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next episode.
Bye.